Speech off.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Georgieverse. Maybe that'll be my saying, we'll see. Anyway, this is gonna be a bit interesting. When I first did the recording of this chapter, something happened and I don't know, I think it got deleted, I have to remember what happened to it. I can't even remember, that's how long ago it was. I have a friend who helps me upload my videos because, it's interesting. And I thought I re-recorded it and sent it to her, but I guess I didn't. So this is the re-recording of that chapter 1, or first part that I thought I did. This is the 10 Blind Dates book. So this is going to be the beginnings, the first chapter all over again, and all of the things are going to be parts because technically there are no chapters really. They're all labeled by dates, but there is nothing in the book that really says like chapter 1, chapter 2. So yeah. But first I have to find the book. Oh brother. La 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 la. Oh book, where could thou be? Hiding from me. That's volume 2. I need volume 1. Thank you for showing yourself very much. Ow. Alright. Some of these parts are very long, so yeah, get comfortable. I recommend it. Alright. Bookmark? Check. Alright, let's do this. Ten Blind Dates. Friday, December 18th. Are you sure you won't come with us? Mom hangs out of the passenger window and wraps me in a fierce hug for the 10th time in the last 10 minutes. The pleading tone in her voice is doing its job. I'm an inch away from the first bit of freedom I've ever known, yet I'm also seconds from caving and jumping into the back seat. I hug her back tighter than usual. Dad leans forward, his face washed in the soft blue light from the dash. Sophie, we really hate leaving you here for Christmas. Who's going to make sure I get those fork marks in the peanut butter cookies just right? Not sure if I can be trusted to do it all alone. I laugh and duck my head. I'm sure, I say, and I am. This saying goodbye part is hard, but there's no way I can suffer through the next week and a half at Margot's house staring at bloated appendages. My parents are driving to... I think it's Breaux. It's Breaux. Breaux Bridge, a small town in South Louisiana, a little less than 4 hours away, to be with my sister and her husband. Margot is 6 weeks away from having her first baby, and she's developed superimposed eclampsia, whatever that means. All I know is that it's made her feet swell to ridiculous sizes. And I know this because Margot is so bored out of her mind while she's been stuck in her bed that she sent me pics of them from every conceivable angle. It's not like I'm going to be by myself, I continue. I'll have Nana and Papa and the other 25 members of our family to keep me company. Dad rolls his eyes and mutters, "Don't know why they all have to hang out in one house all the time." Mom pokes him in the ribs. The size of our extended family is no joke. Mom is one of 8, and pretty much all of her siblings have several kids of their own. My grandparents' house is always full of people, but around the holidays, it turns into Grand Central Station. Beds and spots at the table are awarded based on age. So when my cousins and I were younger, we always spent Christmas Eve stuffed into one big pallet on the floor of the den, like sardines, and every meal was a balancing act. Beside your plate, your red Solo cup, and your lap. Oh, between your plate, yeah, and all that stuff. Are you sure you want to stay with Lisa? It'll be quieter at our house, Mom suggests. I'm sure I'll be fine at Nana and Papa's. It would be a lot quieter at my Aunt Lisa's. She's Mom's twin. Older by 3 minutes, but because of that, she watches me as closely as Mom does, and that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a little freedom and some alone time with Griffin. Both are in short supply when you live in a small town and your dad is the chief of police. Okay, Dad and I should be back. The afternoon of Nana's birthday party. We'll open presents then. Mom fidgets around in the front seat, clearly not ready to leave. I mean, if Brad's parents weren't already going to be there, we wouldn't have to go. You know how his mom always tries to rearrange Margot's kitchen and move her furniture around. I don't want Margot all worked up, wondering what that woman is doing while she's stuck in bed. And God forbid his parents take care of you. And God forbid his parents take care of your daughter, I tease. Mom is overly protective of her children. All Margot had to do was mention that her husband's parents were coming in, and Mom started packing her bags. We could wait till the morning, Mom suggests to Dad. Dad's shaking his head before she finishes. We'll make better time if we drive tonight. Tomorrow is the Saturday before Christmas. The roads will be a nightmare. He leans forward once more, meeting my gaze. Get your stuff and head straight to your grandparents. Call them to let them know you're on your way. That's my dad, all business. This is the first time in years Dad will be away from the station for more than a few days. I will. One more hug from Mom, and I blow a kiss to Dad. Then they're gone. The glowing red taillights of my parents' SUV disappear down the road, and a flood of emotions rolls through me. Thrilling anticipation, but also an ache that settles deep in my belly. I do my best to shake it off. It's not that I don't want to be with them. Just thinking about waking up on Christmas morning without my parents has my stomach twisting in knots. But I just can't spend my entire break trapped in Margot and Brad's tiny apartment. Once I'm back in my room, the first thing I do is call Nana to tell her that I'll be there in a few hours. She's distracted. I hear the customers at the flower shop that she owns talking loudly in the background, and I guess, and can guess, she's only hearing about every third word I say. "Drive carefully, sweetheart," she says. As she's hanging up, I can hear her shouting, poinsettia prices at Randy in the greenhouse, and I smother a grin. It's 6 o'clock, and it's just a short drive from Minden, Minden, to Shreveport, Shreveport, where my grandparents and the rest of my family live. Nana won't look for me until around 10. 4 glorious hours to myself. Excuse me. I fall back on my bed and stare at my slowly turning ceiling fan. Even though I'm 17, my parents don't like for me to stay home alone, and when I do manage to pull it off, there's usually a parade of deputies doing drive-bys, parentheses, just to check on things. It's all sorts of ridiculous. Feeling around on the bed for my phone, I call Griffin to let him know I'll be staying. But after 8 rings, it goes to voicemail. I send him a text, then wait for those 3 little dots to appear. I hadn't told him I was trying to convince my parents to let me stay. No reason for both of us to be disappointed if it didn't work out. I stare at the blank screen for another few seconds, then throw the phone down on the bed and move to my desk. There's a clutter of makeup and colored pencils and nail polish bottles scattered across the surface. Almost every inch of the bulletin board hanging on the wall in front of me showcases crisp white index cards for each college I'm considering. There's a color-coded list of pros, green, and some red. And some red on each card, plus all of them. And some cards plus on each card, plus all of the application requirements for school. A few sport a big green check mark, meaning I've already met every requirement and been accepted, but most I'm still waiting to hear from. I call this my inspiration board, but Mom calls it my obsession board. My eyes move to the first card I tacked up at the beginning of freshman year, LSU. Once upon a time, I thought it was the only school that would make the board. But then I realized I needed to keep my options open. My phone dings, and I glance back toward the bed. It's just a notification that someone liked my last post, not Griffin texting me back. I glance at the blank cards stacked on my desk, and, for half a second, consider making a Griffin list. We've been together for over a year, and school is usually our biggest focus, but with the 2-week break ahead and no midterms or papers to worry about, the idea of being here alone with him is exciting. Even though we've been taking things slow, I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about taking our relationship to the next level. Green. Together almost a year. We're seniors and almost 18. Red. Haven't said I love you yet. Not sure if I'm ready to say I love you yet. Mom would definitely have a problem if she saw. Mom would definitely have a problem if she sees that list hanging there. So I resist the urge. My phone chimes again. I feel my heart burst. I feel my heart lurch when I see the text icon. But when I check the screen, I see another pic from Margot. I open the image and stare at it for a few minutes. Someone needs to take the phone away from her. Me. 2, 4, 6, 2, 5. Me. 5 question marks. Margot. That was a close-up of my toes. That was a close-up of my toes. There was 0 space between them. I can't wiggle them or separate them. They're like little sausages. Me. What if they never go back to normal? 2 question marks. What if you're stuck with sausage toes forever? What if you can never wear flip-flops again because you can't get that little plastic piece between your first 2 toes? You're going to humiliate your kids with those feet. You're going to humiliate your kid with those feet. Margot. I guess sausage toes are better than sausage fingers. Maybe I'll have to wear those really ugly orthopedic shoes like Aunt Toby used to wear. Me. You could bedazzle them and maybe write your name in puff paint along each side. They would be adorable. Sausage toe shoes. Margot. Now you made me hungry for sausage. Me. You're disgusting. And you've scarred me for life. I'm never getting pregnant for fear of sausage toes and bedazzled orthopedic shoes. It's a few minutes before she texts back. Margot. Mom just texted me that you're not coming! 3 exclamation marks. What in the hell, Soph? 3 question marks. You are going to save me from the tug of war between Mom and Gwen. You know how those 2 are together. 2 exclamation marks. Me. You're on your own. I really hope they fight over who gets to clean out the lint between those sausage toes. Maybe they'll have to use dental floss. Margot. You've given me a mental picture I'll never be able to get rid of. I curse you with sausage toes for the rest of your life. Me. I'll come when the baby's born. Margot. Promise? 2 question marks. Me. Promise. Margot. So, has Griffin gotten there yet? Me. None of your business. Margot. Give it up. Wait. Give it up. No, wait. ... Don't. Give it up. Me. Ha ha. I scroll through all the social media sites, wasting time waiting for Griffin to call me. My phone finally rings and his name flashes across the screen. I don't even try to stop the smile that breaks out across my face. Hey, he screams over the loud music and noise in the background. Hey, where are you? I ask. Matt's. I've already seen several posts from people hanging out at Matt's backyard and pool house, including Addie, my best friend since the 3rd grade. Are you on your way to Margot's? He asks. Change of plans. I'm staying with Nana and Papa, but I don't have to be there for a few hours. What? I can hardly hear you, he says in a loud voice. Change of plans, I scream. I'm staying here. I can hear the steady beat from the bass, but can't make out which song is playing. I can't believe your dad didn't make you go, he says. I know, right? Want to come here? Or I can come to Matt's. He's quiet a second before saying, Come to Matt's. Everyone's here. I feel a pang of disappointment. Okay, see you in a few, I reply, then end the call. The crowd at Matt's is larger than I can expect. Today was the last day of school before the holiday break, and it looks like everyone is ready to celebrate. There must be a million lights strung over his house and the bushes and trees. Really, there are lights covering anything stayed what? Oh, that stayed too long. Ha ha. Most people are in t-shirts and shorts, and even with all of the decorations, it's hard to feel festive. It doesn't really feel like winter break when you're swatting mosquitoes. Stupid Louisiana weather. I parked my car 4 houses down, the closest spot I can find. Even from this far away, I can still hear the deep thump of the bass coming from Matt's backyard. It wouldn't surprise me if the neighbors call the cops within the hour. Hopefully we'll be gone by then. It would be hard to explain why I was here instead of halfway to my grandparents' house when one of the deputies inevitably calls my dad. When I get to Matt's, I spot a guy and a girl sitting in the grass near the driveway, and they seem to be arguing. The drama doesn't usually get started this early. They get quiet when they notice me, and I pick up the pace, trying to give them their privacy. Following the music, I head to the backyard toward the pool house. Just as I'm about to round the house, I feel a tug on my arm, and then I'm swallowed in a breath-crushing hug. I thought you weren't coming, Addie squeals loud enough that several people turn in our direction. Can you believe I talked my parents into going without me? I can't. Are you staying at Nana's? She sticks out her bottom lip in a pout. I'm still barely going to see you. I laugh. Yes, you will. I have a plan. Nana will be so busy during the day. She won't even miss me. I'll head back here and then we can hang out. Your parents will flip if they find out. We'll have to hide your car. Addie jumps up and down. Oh, and bring Olivia. I haven't seen her in forever. I nod, even though I doubt she'll want to come back with me. Olivia is one of my many cousins and the daughter of Mom's twin sister, Lisa. We're about 2 months apart in age and used to be super close when we were younger, but we've seen less and less of each other over the last couple of years. So, Olivia is helping Nana at the shop. I'm not sure she can get away. Addie's eyes brighten. Then she starts dragging me to the pool house. We'll just have to find a way to bring her out of there. Have you seen Griffin? I ask, changing the subject away from Olivia. Not yet. But Danny and I just got here. Maybe he's inside. She nods toward the pool house. Want a beer? Nah, I gotta drive to Nana soon. I'll find a bottle of water somewhere, I say, as we part ways. Addie heads to the keg, hidden in the shrubbery, and I push through the crowd. The music is so loud once I get inside that the first few people I talk to can't even hear me at all. I finally make it through the room and find a few of Griffin's friends. Sophie, what's up? Chris yells, then tries to hug me. He's already down to his white undershirt and boxer shorts. I hold my arm out to keep him at a safe distance. Chris is the guy that always manages to get one step from naked at parties. At the school Halloween dance, he came dressed as a cowboy. But by the end of the night, all that was left of his costume was the pair of chaps over his boxer briefs. He got a week's worth of detention for indecent exposure. Not much. Where's Griffin? I ask, then turn around to scope out the room. Chris waves his hand behind him. Somewhere back there. Went looking for a beer. I nod, then scoot around him. It's hard to make any progress through the crowd, but I finally spot Griffin just as he turns into the small kitchen in the back of the pool house. It takes me a few minutes to catch up, since I stumbled into the middle of a dance circle, and Josh Peters won't let me leave without spinning me around a few times. I'm just about to round the corner into the kitchen where the music is actually somewhat muted when I hear Griffin say, Sophie's on her way. It's not the words that make me stop. It's the way he says them, full of disappointment. Parker, one of Griffin's best friends, is pulling 2 beers out of the refrigerator. Neither one of them notices me just outside the door. I thought she was going to her sister's. Sister's house or something, Parker asks. Yeah. Griffin's head hangs. She was, but not anymore. He's so bummed I'm staying. Like I'm ruining his break. I can hear it in his voice, that horrible feeling. The one where you were looking forward to something, like you were about to bust out of your skin because you were so happy, only to have it snatched away. That's how I felt when I thought I wouldn't be here for the break. And that's how he sounded and that's how he sounds after hearing I will be here. What is happening? Griffin starts to turn, and I duck around the corner. Why am I hiding? I should storm in there and demand answers, but I'm frozen. I count to 5 and then slowly look back into the kitchen. She'll be here any minute, he says, but stays rooted in his spot. Parker pops open one of the beers and hands it to Griffin. Griffin takes a long drink. So what's the problem? Parker asks. Obviously, he can hear the disappointment too. Griffin shrugs. This is going to make me sound like an asshole, but I was kind of glad that she was going to be gone. You know, like a trial run for what it could be like if we broke up. My heart is pounding. Do you want to break up with her? Parker asks, then takes another swig of his beer. Griffin shrugs again. My desire to scream is almost overwhelming. I think so. I gasp. Parker and Griffin both turn toward the door. Parker's eyes get big, and he looks from me to Griffin and back to me. There's a split second where Griffin tries to figure out if I heard what was said. But the expression on my face keeps it obvious that I did. I stumble back, hitting the wall, before fleeing. I have to get out of here. I can't look at him. I can't be here. Sophie! Griffin follows behind me, but I duck and dodge my way toward the door. I'm afraid I won't make it outside before the tears start to fall. Then Addie sees my face, and barrels through the people dancing, pulling me out of the pool house. What happened? She asked, once we're on the other side of the pool. I crumple onto the ground and tell her everything. That asshole, Addie says. She turns like she's going to hunt him down. Please help me get out of here, I plead. She moves back toward me. Of course, let's go. Addie helps me off the ground, and we pick up and we pick our way through the landscaping. Tears are streaming down my face now, and I don't even try to stop them. My heart is crushed. More than crushed. Pulverized. He wants to break up with me. I can't believe him. Addie mutters under her breath. He's going to break up with you? Whatever. He's lucky to have you. I don't have the words to answer her. Not sure if I ever will. Just as we make it to the driveway, we see Griffin. He's running down the driveway, scanning the street. I can't talk to him right now, I croak out. Addie nods and shoves me into the shadows before marching out to confront him. No, just no, Addie says. She doesn't want to talk to you. Griffin's face is illuminated by one of the lights anchored to the eave of the house. He looks awful. Guilty? Yes. But there's also sadness swimming in those eyes. Please, Addie. I need to talk. Please, Addie, I need to talk to her. He squints toward the darkness where I'm hiding. Please, Sophie, talk to me. Let me explain. I didn't mean it like that. I take a step back, not wanting to be near him, not wanting to hear his excuses. Running behind a row of azalea bushes to the front yard, I trip every other step, trying to put some distance between us. I hope Griffin doesn't follow me. There is a small part of me that wants to take what I heard and twist it until it's something that doesn't crush me, but I can't quit hearing the disappointment in his voice. No matter what he says, he didn't want to see me. He didn't want to be here with me. By the time I make it to my car, I am shattered. Footsteps pound on the pavement behind me, and I brace myself. Sophie, please, talk to me. Griffin begs. I'm facing the car. He's right behind me, and I know Addie is somewhere behind him. My mouth tightens. I was so excited. My parents let me stay home because all I could think was how fun it would be to hang out with you. Just the two of us. That's what I was looking forward to. But you wanted a break from me, right? Isn't that what you were looking forward to? His hand lands softly on my shoulder and he says, Turn around and talk to me. I shrug him off. Is that what you want? I can feel him struggling to find the words. I don't know what I want, Soph. Everything is so confusing right now. Things got so serious between us. It's our senior year. We're supposed to be having fun. I spin around. Well, let me make it easy for you. You want a break? You got it. We're done. He reaches for me, but I dodge his grasp. He seems frantic, and I can't help but think it's because of how this is going down. He didn't get his trial run first. Wait, Sophie, can we talk about this? I love you. I really do. His words are like a blow. I've waited and wanted him to say this to me for months. I can't do this. I can't stay here. Please stay and talk to me. Griffin begs. I turn and get into my car. Griffin finally retreats to the sidewalk as I start the engine, and Addie runs to the window. Let me drive you. I give her a weak smile. I'm fine. I'll call you, okay? I love you. She reaches in the window and gives me a quick hug. I love you too. So thankfully, Griffin keeps his distance. Within minutes, I'm on I-20, headed to Shreveport. Shreveport? I don't know. By the time I get to Nana's house, I'm a wreck. I check my appearance in the rearview mirror and almost scream at the mascara-streaked stranger staring back at me. My nose is red, my eyes are swollen, and I'm pretty sure there's dried snot crusted on my shirt. Thankfully, most of the lights are off, so there's a good chance no one is here but my grandparents. At this house, it's not unusual to step over sleeping bodies just inside the door. Out of the eight kids, just inside the door. Out of the 8 kids my grandparents have, 6 live in Shreveport, 4 of them within blocks of this house. And though you'd think it'd mean they'd go home, that's usually not the case. But tonight looks quiet. I park my car on the street and grab my bag from the back seat, but I only make it to the front steps before I collapse. I can't go in there like this. Nana will call my parents, and they'll be mad I didn't come straight here. But they'll also be upset about Griffin. They love him. Even with all of their crazy rules, they always treated him like he's part of the family. Using my duffel as a pillow, I lie back on the dark steps and stare at the full moon. There's a huge part of me that wants nothing more than to curl up in my mom's lap and cry. A year. That's how long I've wasted with Griffin. A freaking year. What did I miss? We were both focused on school. We were both looking forward to college and making sure we got into the schools that we wanted. I thought we were both happy with our relationship, but apparently he's not having any fun with me. You going to stay out here all night, or you going to come in and tell me what happened? I nearly fall off the steps when my grandmother's face looms over mine. Nana! I jump up and stumble into her arms, almost knocking us both over. She runs a hand over my back. I start to cry all over again. Oh my, come in and tell me all about it. We walk inside, hand in hand, straight to the kitchen. Her kitchen is the heart of this house. It's a big open room with lots of cabinets and counter space. The fridge is one of those gigantic stainless steel ones that's covered in pictures. And I know if I open it, the shelves will be packed with food. There's a row of bar stools along the side of the island and a huge wood farm table stretching in front of a row of windows that looks out toward the neighbors' houses. And there's always a vase of fresh flowers sitting in the center. It's my favorite room in the house. Nana leads me to one of the bar stools, then cuts me a piece of the most decadent chocolate cake I've ever seen. There's never a shortage of goodies here, and tonight definitely doesn't disappoint. I don't think you're crying about your mom and dad leaving, so I assume this is about that boy? What's his name? Griffin, I mumble. Yes, Griffin. Tell me what happened. I pause before taking a bite of cake. I've always been close with Nana, but we've never talked about my love life. She notices my hesitation and says, I raised 4 daughters. I promise you, I've heard my fair share of heartbreak sitting right here in this very spot. I let out an awkward laugh. Nana prides herself on her ability to always fix what's broken when it comes to this family. No problem is too big for her to. No problem is too big or too small. She just can't help herself. She pours me a glass of milk, and I watch her move around the kitchen. She'll be 75 in a little more than a week, but you'd never be able to tell, thanks to an inconsequential number of gray hairs and a faithful skincare regimen. And she's still strong enough to carry those huge bags of potting soil and mulch at the nursery, even though Papa fusses at her. I take a deep breath. I know I told you I was at Addie's house, but I went somewhere else instead. A friend was having a party. I wanted to see Griffin before I came here. I was going to surprise him by telling him I'd be around during the holidays. Nana's eyebrows shot up. Uh-oh. That barely turns out well. I choke down a laugh. You can say that again. Nana settles in next to me and takes a big bite of her own piece of cake as I tell her everything. When I'm finished, she rubs circles on my back. And I fold in to her. Sweet Sophie, I know this feels like the end of the world right now, but it's not. Better to see how Griffin feels now, before you waste any more time with him. She hands me a napkin, and I wipe my eyes dry, but I thought we wanted the same things. Things change all the time. Maybe you thought you two were moving in the same direction, when really, you weren't. Once I finish my cake, she walks me from the kitchen to the guest room upstairs. This room is all yours until your parents get back. Tomorrow you can help me at the shop. Busy hands will keep your mind from wandering, and Olivia will be happy to have the company. She's been pouty now that everyone else is out of school and she has to work. I let Nana tuck me in and baby me like she did when I was a little girl. It feels nicer than I remember. She kisses my head and says, It'll all seem better tomorrow.